Are you ready? Check your reality.
The comments and opinions of this program may be considered offensive. Viewer discretion is advised. Uncommon Sense is now available for your listening convenience on Anchor.fm. Anchor allows our podcast to be available on more platforms. Click a link in the description below to connect to your favorite listening app and stream Uncommon Sense today. Thank you for your listening and supporting our show. If you haven't already, hit subscribe and lay a smack down on that notification bell to get notified anytime we post new content. Thanks again from your hosts at Uncommon Sense. Let the show commence.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Uncommon Sense. I'm your host, Butch, and in the studio we have Billy today, and we're going to be talking about some uncommon things.
Going through what I was just watching while you were gone at your appointment and whatnot. We got an NBA player who has, oh no, he's embarrassed the media. Dave Rubin reports that the press is speechless as NBA player gives perfect response to why he is second guessing getting a COVID vaccine. So I didn't watch the whole video, but you can go to Dave Rubin's page and it's on there. But this guy plays for Orlando, and his response is very simple, honest, and he's got more brains than Fauci for sure.
Oh yes.
But the media is apparently
that turtle that knows how to sit pretty. I'll believe that before I believe Fauci's a real doctor.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy was saying that he's already had COVID, so natural immunity has set in.
Right, that means he's 27% more effective.
He's also in a low-risk age group. He's very healthy, obviously, physically fit. Mm-hmm. The likeliness of him dying from COVID is very slim.
Yes.
So what is the point of him taking it when someone else needs it more?
Exactly.
Like, you know, a 90-year-old who has respiratory problems or something.
But that would make too much sense.
Yeah.
But then again, in this Biden administration, I haven't seen anything that made much sense yet.
Oh, kind of like that clip of Biden we were just watching where he's talking about, like, stacking spaghetti sauce for $2 billion or some shit.
Yeah. If you take 1.2 million spaghetti sauce and
you stack them, and then
you
put
get
your carts on in the parking lot in the.
You know the thing.
You know the thing. My butt's been wiped. Oh.
1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. What happens? They make you management. You can't get paid overtime. And you see it happening with labor as well. So the bottom line is I'm for you because America needs you to grow.
Okay, so also another one that was funny to me I watched a little bit ago was Fox 32 Chicago. Tensions flare as Lightfoot,
Mayor Lightfoot, that is.
Mm-hmm. She clashes with an older woman at the city hall.
At the city hall.
A regular citizen or whatever. You know. Anyways, this woman disagreed with something that Lightfoot said, and there was a.
So Lightfoot gets up in her face.
Her face.
Wow.
Putting her finger in her face, and you see in the video like she's doing this. The other lady.
Right.
She's like putting her hand up.
Yeah.
And it was because she was saying, "Get your finger out of my face."
Yeah. Well, you know.
We have mass.
Just to let
resignings happening.
Yep, mass resignations going on all across the country. Yeah, you know, I hate to break this to people that think they are in power or are in charge, because you're not in power. You're not in charge. You are there to govern. That's to do the will of the people. That's what you are. You are a public servant. Period.
Yep.
It's like beating a dead horse. You know, I believe anyone out there that mistreats or harms an animal in any way should be horsewhipped.
Agreed. You made it funny.
That was pretty good.
Because I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man. You ever heard that version? I can't remember who did it. It was a Irish punk band
Oh,
that
man.
covered
I
that
thought
song.
you was talking about, I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh.
I live in a garbage
Yeah, I heard that one too. Cut. Oh, just kidding.
I hope we're snipping this out.
Yeah.
Most
Most of it.
maybe.
Maybe. We just leave it all raw. Everybody's like, what the heck?
You guys are crazy.
Get out of town.
Yeah. See, we're unlike other podcasts that are out there. We are real people giving you real stories. We're reading you the news, the headlines that are out there, but yet don't have that many views, or
Yeah, they don't
it's not
get
well
the-
known. They don't get the mainstream media time.
Yeah, they don't get the top spot.
They're showed back on page 32 while Biden gets two scoops of ice cream.
Well, like a lot of the stuff I'm subscribed to, I wouldn't get it if I didn't hit that notification bell every time. And I check them once in a while because there's been times like some of the channels I've subscribed to, all of a sudden I'm like, I haven't watched them in a while. That's weird. Why am I not getting their stuff? I go back to their page. Not only is the bell not there, but I'm unsubscribed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know for a fact I was subscribed to this dude.
Yeah. Maybe we can do a little investigation of our own
Dun, dun, dun.
as to the disappearance or the unsubscription of subscribed channels.
There's a lot of channels I was subscribed to before 2020.
I'm still subscribed to a lot of channels that I subscribed to before 2020.
So am I, but there's a lot of them that are literally gone.
Oh, yeah. Well, the ones that, if you open up another YouTube tab and type First Amendment or 1A audit, some of them are good, some of them are bad. I've never watched Long Island audits. Rogue Nation I've watched before. Yeah, as long as you're on public property, you can record whatever you can see.
Yep, that's right.
You can't trespass the eyes. Supreme Court has already ruled on that, so.
Oh, so Norway and Singapore have dropped restrictions and
Yes.
have chosen to live with COVID. Lo and behold. Oh.
Not only are they living with COVID, I don't know about Taiwan.
It was Singapore.
Singapore.
And they have like an 82% vaccination rate.
Right.
Right? So on the Hill, she was talking about the whole thing, and she said, but they've come to realize that it's not the number of cases that count, it's how many people have died. But they never mentioned vaccinated versus unvaccinated. None of it was even mentioned. They talked about the number of cases, the number of deaths, and it's time to open everything up and move on with normal life.
Yeah. It's like,
Norway was at 60
I'm
something.
subscribed to the local newspaper to get messages on my Facebook. And I will not disclose my Facebook, so don't ask. It reports daily how many COVID cases are in the hospital, the local hospital. And it also tells how many vaccinated, how many unvaccinated are in the hospital. However, I've learned from an insider that those numbers are rather askew.
It's been like that pretty much since the beginning, too. Somebody, can't remember who now it was, it might have been a local to Oregon official. Somebody is suing the CDC right now.
Right.
Because they admitted that they changed their rulings on death certificates.
Right.
That if someone died and had COVID at the time of death, it was to be written down as a COVID death. And they've been doing that
since what is it? Let's see. 2020.
It was in 2020.
And I think they started doing that around May.
May, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Late April, early May, something like that. And I've been hearing about it since then. Of course, it was conspiracy theories.
Right. When it was published.
Oh, that's just crazy talk, it is.
Well, for those that don't know already, and I'm pretty sure most of you already know
all people really have to do is like go to their website and read up on their shit.
Yeah.
That's really all you have to do.
Read.
There's so much information.
Yeah. Why are Democrats pushing for literacy all of a sudden?
Yeah.
They don't want you to know
because
something?
they don't want you to be able to read
Right.
what the truth is.
Exactly.
I mean,
I'm sorry, people.
People are sitting around sending each other emojis and crap. They can't even spell anymore.
No.
They've gone back to
person wrote,
picture messages.
Right. Recently, a person wrote my wife a message, and he spelled git, G-I-T. Now, don't get me wrong, git is a word. It's a word used in Linux and Unix environments
but not
as a utility. It's a program. It's a utility that allows you to retrieve files and information from the internet. Yeah, just recently our beloved Fuhrer here in Oregon decided to, pass a bill that the Democratic Party here in Oregon pushed through, and it's dumbing down the kids of Oregon, our youth, our future. And I think it is totally not only irresponsible.
It's asinine.
Yeah, exactly. It's asinine.
But they want us to be stupid. They don't want us to be able to read or write or do basic math, because the dumber you are, the more ignorant you are,
the easier
you are to control.
Exactly. We've seen it happen throughout history. But guess what? Be prepared for those patriots that love our country to fight back.
I was watching Academy of Ideas earlier. I showed you part of the video.
Yes, you did.
So they're talking about communist Russia, and then eventually he talks about this band that in the 1970s, you were supposed to have approval from the government, basically, to be able to release music.
Right.
So like they had to approve your songs.
Right.
And this band basically said, you can suck it.
Right.
And we're going to play whatever we want to play, because that's true art.
Mm-hmm.
And denied the government, and it all went to court, and their fans showed up. And during this court process, their fans were awakened to the truth.
Right.
Of what was...
Of the suppression of voice.
The suppression of
thought
and
free speech
and all of that, and it suddenly dawned on them how controlled they were. And it led to a different kind of revolution.
Yes.
Where there was a mass awakening of the populace, and it all just stopped. Because without us, they have no power.
Right.
They might as well be a paper doll.
That's right.
And that's kind of how he put it in there.
Yeah.
It reminded me of how today they're trying to silence any celebrities that are making...
Any what?
That are making controversial...
Oh, okay.
Quote unquote.
I threw you off there, didn't I?
So Shaquille O'Neal recently, after I got over here...
Right, Shaquille O'Neal.
He's denouncing his celebrity status.
Well, that's good.
He's like, they're insane. You guys can go to Fox News and watch it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a gut-filled episode.
Yeah, I think he did this step in the right direction, Shaquille O'Neal, because, I mean,
he's been an NBA All-Star player.
Superstar player.
Yeah. For years.
Yes.
I mean, basically decades at this point.
Yeah. And he's been the face of basketball for a long time.
Speaking of Shaquille, let's talk about Kobe for a second. Just kind of a random thought that just came to my brain.
Right.
I have my own interesting theories about the whole accident that happened. Of course, I'm always picking apart everything.
Right.
But it is strange if you really look into what he was doing with his life and the direction that he was going, and then all of a sudden he died.
Right. Do some research. That's your homework for this week.
Research Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Find out
prior
what he was doing.
His death.
Yeah. Find out what he was doing 2 weeks before his death.
Another
That's all
one
it takes.
is Avicii. What was Avicii doing before he died?
Right.
What was Chester... Is it Bennington?
Bennington.
Yeah. Anyways, when he died, what was he doing before that happened? He also died 6 months after the guitarist from Soundgarden, Chris... What was his name? Anyways.
If you know, comment and leave a note in the comment below, and we'll update our memories on that.
Yeah, because Chris died, and then right about 6 months later, and I believe it was on Chris's birthday, that Chester died.
Right.
So read about what those two were doing as a team before they died.
Yep. And
the interesting similar circumstances of their separate deaths.
You know, I have a question. It just came to mind. You know, because all these mysterious deaths and all these, suicides, especially
Freak
around
accidents.
yeah, especially around Hillary Clinton. You know, all these suicides and everything. Does she have the suicide hotline on speed dial?
Beep beep boop boop beep beep boop.
Yeah.
Hello, suicide hotline. How can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to place an order.
Time and place of delivery.
Oh man, it's absurd, but it could happen. I'm just telling you,
I mean,
people.
we've all seen like Hitman movies.
Right.
You know, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Most of what we watch on television as entertainment, it is a portrayal of reality.
If it couldn't happen, then why are they portraying it as, hey, this could happen?
It's like alien movies. Somebody said, what is that guy's name? He's like a modern philosopher, dude. He's Indian or something. And,
Gandhi.
No. Gandhi. Anyway, he was on Joe Rogan recently. And there's
definitely wasn't
a
Gandhi.
YouTube like ad clip for Rogan
Right.
experience that anyways, dude says that aliens in movies aren't portrayed the way we think aliens would behave. It's actual portrayal of how we human beings have behaved.
Right.
And that's fact, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Well, if you look
like
at society
everything we watch
as a
has
whole,
some truth to it.
yeah, if you watch society as a whole, they always have key elements in those societies. And one of those is going to fall in line later down the road in history. Why? Because it's a societal problem.
Yeah.
And communism is not the answer.
No.
Socialism is not the answer.
Every time communism has taken over, it has won, like they said in Academy of Ideas, it has won the battle with thousands of applause.
Right.
The people saying that they wanted this.
Right.
And it's not until afterwards that they realize what they've done.
Yeah.
So the way to fix it is basically what they were saying was that the way to fix it is to deny the lies that are spread.
Yep.
That you as an individual human being have to accept and live in the truth.
Yeah, it's time to wake up. Don't be woke. Woke is something that you do in a dream. Wake up. Face reality.
So I have something to say about that because while you're at your appointment, I typed this up, just random thoughts.
Right.
But back to that Academy of Ideas video real quick where they were talking about that rock band.
Right.
It dawned on me, wouldn't that be funny if Nicki Minaj, of all people, is for us what they were to Russia?
Yeah.
Because her fans have already started protesting
Yes.
at the CDC because of what she said.
Right.
And now we have other celebrities, and not now, like we've had other celebrities
Right.
speak out against it. I've mentioned Busta Rhymes before, and there's several others.
And, that's the whole part of communism and socialism, is that if someone speaks out a different view than what you want for control and power, then they are to be silenced. And that's what they did in communist Russia. That's what they've done in socialist Venezuela.
Nazi Germany.
Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany was taken over by fascists. Actual fascists.
I had an interesting history lesson with my kids the other day.
Oh.
I was playing Living the Dream by Five Finger Death Punch.
Right.
It came out early last summer.
Right.
Late spring, something like that. Right after all the riots started. And my son, he said something about the video. Because he's seen little pieces of the video from me sharing it with my friends and my family and stuff.
Right.
And so I was like, well, let's watch the video. So I pulled up the video, and that started this interesting conversation with my kids, who are, young school-age kids,
Yes.
about the metaphors and the symbolism in that video, and how they artistically portray what is happening today. Because my kids, they hear me all the time talking about what's going on, and my personal opinions on it.
Right.
And I'll read articles out loud,
Exactly.
So they are very aware of the state of our country right now.
Yes.
And the tyranny that is about to ensue.
Yes.
So we picked apart this video, And we got to talking about all kinds of stuff. We talked about communist Russia. We talked about the Nazis. We talked about the Holocaust.
Right.
And the revolution.
Right.
And like the symbolism in the final battle scene of the video where they never show the enemy.
Right.
They don't show the enemy because we don't know our enemy in this war. This silent, quiet war that we're in.
Right.
Right? Our enemy is information at this point. So we don't really know who we're fighting, but we are fighting for our freedom. And that's what it symbolizes.
Right.
And the band even features themselves in that end scene.
Yeah, it's cool.
So it's a very powerful video. If you haven't checked it out, check it out.
There will be a link in the description below.
Five Finger Death Punch, Living the Dream. Back kind of close to when it first came out, I was going through the comments, and there was one dude on there that like denounced his fanship to the band because that was the biggest load of crap they've ever released. I was like, go back to sleep, dude.
Wow. Wow. Some people are just drama queens, I guess. So anyway, go ahead. What are your thoughts here?
So I wrote this down, my thoughts on the state of America as a whole right now. We are living in historically significant times. It's interesting to me that those whom have labeled themselves as woke are the least awakened among us. There has been talk on all sides of society of a great awakening that is to come, yet those claiming to have the most knowledge of this, quote, awakening, continue to parrot the mainstream narratives and insist that the government and higher-ups have our best interests at heart. Simultaneously, these same people preach words of individuality and self-consciousness, while also completely lacking of self-accountability and freedom. I may be wrong, but I thought that having freedom and liberty allowed for one to be an individual and having accountability is part of being self-conscious. If one as an individual is always pointing guilty fingers at another, how can one consider themselves aware of their inner consciousness? The truth is, there is a ruling elite class. If you argue this, you are either completely brainwashed or in denial. And that's just kind of where I ended up stopping.
That is so correct and on point. And it's not... How can I put this? The left is trying to bring back racism, and they're being rather effective at doing so.
They are. In fact, I mean, they're literally taking us backwards and calling it progressive.
Right.
What is progression? Yeah. Progression is supposed to be moving forward and getting, better.
Right.
You have progressed in your project. You're building something.
Yeah, you're moving forward in a positive direction.
Yeah.
That's what a progressive is supposed to be.
So instead of making actual progress, they are moving us backwards into a more vulnerable, ignorant state.
And they're trying to push us to the brink of war because
there are those that see it and those that don't.
Right.
And that's the ultimate line right there, right now. It's not what your party is or what your own personal beliefs are as far as, this issue or that social issue or what have you. It's about whether or not you are aware or not aware.
Exactly.
But back to the racism thing you were just talking about. Rubin talked about it, and there was an interview on Fox News with Tucker Carlson about a college, Evergreen State College, where a professor was very verbally, violently asked to leave the campus because he was white. They insisted that all white people leave the campus.
Yes. And we'll leave a link in the description below for that as well, just so you can reference it and see with your own eyes, hear with your own ears, and hopefully think with your own mind.
I surely hope so. But, on a little bit of a bright side, woke backlash is here, Dave Rubin says. Anti-woke kids books have arrived. It's about time, huh?
It's about time.
All that other junk they're putting out that we've already talked about some of it.
Yep.
We've actually covered the worst ones, but there's ones that are out there that are like very subtly woke.
Yes.
Subtly, gender positive or whatever they want to call it. Oh yeah, the horseback whippings.
Yes.
Busted. It was all a lie.
It was all a lie by CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS.
And
was
one of
all
the
a lie.
CNN reporters, I guess, fully admitted it on something at some point.
Yes.
And
They admitted it on air that...
the clip is gone, though.
Yeah.
They've taken the clip off the internet.
Yes, they have.
So, yeah. Somebody's got a recording of that. I want it.
And you know where to send it. Just send us a message or send us an email and we'll get right back to you.
Yep. Oh. Something funny I found earlier.
Right.
Okay, this first one I found was not... It was funny, not funny. You know?
Right.
Because he's talking about a really serious issue here. I can link his video. I just found him today. His channel is Samson, without the P. Samson.
Right.
And the video is called Just Leave the Kids Out of It. So it starts out with, I don't know, it was like going viral. They were on TV and shit like that. Okay, so you've got a man. This is a man.
It's a man.
Okay.
That's a man right there.
A man who is like, thinks he's a woman.
Right.
Okay? And then you have a woman over here who has tried to become a man.
Right.
But she just had a baby.
Yes.
So now dude is trying to latch baby to his boob.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't work that way.
Are they getting milk? No, you idiot. His body was not made for that. So they're supplementing with formula. Well, duh. I fucking hope so, or your baby's gonna starve.
Yes.
Because he will never produce milk.
Wait a minute. Now, aren't these the same people that know their own biology?
Oh, they're always like, trust the science. Trust the science. Believe in Fauci. Yay.
There's 178 different genders, and I'm 3 of them.
At least.
Depending on the time of day. I want my latte now.
Don't forget to draw Karl Marx's face on it for them. So anyways, yeah, this happened.
Yes.
This actually happened.
Wow.
So he shows us at the beginning of his video, them talking about her having a baby, him trying to breastfeed it, so they have to supplement with formula to make sure it gets its nutrients. But you are needlessly making a baby who has no idea what's going on latch to your male tit that will never produce milk. This is your weird thing.
Don't take it out on the children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you want to be weird.
Exactly.
I mean...
If you have that type of psychosis...
You want to live this strange lifestyle. Fine. It's strange to me. But if you want to live this lifestyle, leave the kid out of it. Like,
right.
Give the poor kid a bottle from the get-go and just leave him out of it.
Exactly.
Or it, because now it is a thing.
Yeah, it's a non-binary child. Well, I guess so. If you have a -1 and a minus, or a +1 and a -1, you come out with a 0, you idiot. I see 1s and 0s. That's binary. I guess that makes the kid a 0, because you're going to give that kid a complex that years of therapy is not going to be able to solve.
Okay, so in this video, though, he goes into his thoughts on the matter.
Right.
And then I just kept watching video after video after video because they were funny. Because he's just like laying facts down, dude. And he's a pretty good rapper, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll link that video. It's funny. Forewarning, there's explicit language.
But it's for educational purposes only.
Of course. Alright, what else did I come across today?
Oh, besides Biden stuttering on himself when he was talking about the 1.2 million spaghetti sauce.
Yeah,
did we already talk
kind of
about
old
that?
clip. Well, it's like from 2020 clip.
Right.
Yeah.
But did we already talk about that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Well, sort of. We joked about it anyway.
I don't understand why people enjoy being lied to. I don't. In these Democrat-run cities.
Complex or syndrome, where you have accepted your imprisonment.
Oh, we'll have to look that up.
What do they call that? There's a word.
Look that up real quick. PS5.
Strike term for Stockholm Syndrome.
I give up on here.
I hate myself now. Just kidding. Oh.
How high are you? Wait a minute, I gotta try that. I
How
can't
high
do that.
can you fly? What, my hat backwards?
Yeah.
If I don't have my hat backwards, it hits the mic.
Oh, okay.
Like bonk.
If I have my hat backwards, it just shows more of my 5 head. I stopped having a 4-head years ago. Alright, now look up the psychological term, or psychological term for believing you're something you're not.
Specifically, a delusion of grandeur is a person's belief that they are someone other than who they are, such as a supernatural figure or a celebrity. A delusion of
Grandeur?
grandeur? Is it
Yeah.
grandeur? Okay. May also be a belief that they have special abilities, possessions, or powers. Delusions are generally the result of a mental health disorder.
And we're still recording, right? Good deal.
So let's talk about our own personal thoughts on just the general state of things, I guess.
The general state of
Because
things?
there's a lot of crap going on, and I feel like there's too much to really focus on one specific thing.
I know, they keep trying to distract us from one thing to another. They distract us from one thing because, oh, this makes us look bad. Let's go over here. Oh, this makes us look good, but it's a lie. Oh, we can keep it up, though. Oh, we got caught in the lie. Say a couple words. Oh, we're sorry. The information we had was false. We apologize. Just, they only make that one little statement once. They've been blasting this information over for a week, 24/7.
Whereas, like, the real stories, it'll be a blip.
Right. But, you know, what it is that we usually catch them in a lie. Every time we catch them in a lie, they want to divert us to another story or another story. So, it's just like recently they're doing the blame game. General Milley and Joe Biden.
Yeah, they're pointing fingers at each other. No
Right.
one wants to take accountability for what's going on.
And I watched the video, seen it with my own eyes, heard it with my own ears. A video of a congressman being asked, a Democratic congressman, by the way, being asked about what he thought of the process and the questioning of General Milley. And the guy went in to describe that, you know, it's going on right now. He can't really make up his mind either way. However, you know, and he even says it's a blame game. They're pointing fingers at each other.
Yeah.
No one's taking responsibility. He goes, now when we went to pull out of Afghanistan, we had an agreement, and, you know, with the Taliban, that all of our citizens would come back. How, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Well, did you catch that, people?
Mm-hmm.
They had an agreement with the Taliban.
An agreement. Hence the helicopters.
And the weapons and everything else. So, I think...
Something they didn't have before that they have now.
Right.
Night vision.
Yeah,
they didn't have night vision before. We had that one up on them.
Yes.
They have night vision now.
Yeah. So, that puts everybody in danger.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Joe Biden.
Yep.
And Joe Biden can say, hey, it wasn't me. It was, you know...
It wasn't me.
You're the one that gave the order, dude.
I want to know who this wasn't me was, because...
Yeah, it wasn't
whoever
me. Wasn't
he
in
is,
the room
he
at
needs
the
his
time.
ass beat.
Yes, he does. Oh, wait. We might have to cut that. Might lead to violence.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
If one is violent, that is their own fault, not mine.
That's right.
My comments and opinions are those of my own.
Yeah, these are my own personal comments.
I'm not inciting
These are my
violence.
opinions. And I'm telling you they're my opinions. And when it's facts, I tell you the facts and we give you the links so you can see and hear for yourself.
Hence the disclaimer.
Yes. You might not like what you hear, but it's the truth. What are you looking up?
I'm looking at memes. Alright, well, I think that's the gist of it for today.
We thank you for listening. We thank you for watching. We thank you for liking, subscribing, hitting that bell notification icon.
And share with your friends.
Share with your friends. And those that aren't on YouTube, thank you guys for listening and supporting us. We really do appreciate it.
What must be what? And you ain't black.
Damn it, Billy. Give me back my liquor.